Hey guys, I thought I'd show you an application I created, which I found something interesting, and it allows users to take a workbook that somebody prepared and further analyze it and publish it for others to see. So I'll click on the link to the application. As you can see, this is a simple SharePoint, relatively simple SharePoint page containing a title, an EWA control, and a panel for saying what interesting you found. Now, this solution uses obviously the EWA to allow you to work with the workbook. It also uses behind the scenes JavaScript OM, the Excel services JavaScript OM, to talk to the workbook and get various information about it. It uses the Excel web services to save back workbooks into SharePoint. And it uses the new SharePoint REST API for lists to create links back into the interesting information. So let's see how this works. In this case, I'm going to go into Sheet 2, and obviously notice that the workbook opens up by default on Sheet 1. But I'm going to go into Sheet 2, and I'm going to select two numbers, June and July, where the number of bugs I had, for whatever reason, went up. I'm going to say here in the title, Shahar gained a few bugs here. And in the notice say, maybe he was on vacation. I'll click the I found something interesting button. Once the system is done saving, I can now go and see the various links that are published. In this case, we only have the one link, which is Shahar gained a few bugs here. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to arrive. I should arrive back at the location where I was in the workbook. So let's try that. And notice that now the workbook opened up in June and July being selected rather than in Sheet 1 on A1. And also in the title you can see that the title is Shahar gained a few bugs here. So fine. This is a very easy way of clicking and selecting places and letting users see what you selected. But it's actually more elaborate than that. You can make changes to the workbook and save those as well. So say that the average number of bugs your group has per month is an interesting number for you. So what I can do is I can go and type here average, and I can select the list of bugs, the number of bugs I have, and hit enter. Excel services will recalculate the information. I will cut and paste this data so that it's available on all the columns. I'll also type here average. I can now say added averages to the list. It looks like we have less bugs on average than last year. I'll select this information I'll select the line I just created, the new line I just added to the table, and I'll click the I found something interesting button. Once that's done, I'll go back to the list of links, and you can see that a new link has been added. And I see this, I click this, sounds interesting, I click it, and you can see that the selection changed to the averages line I just added. So you can go and add, not just point somebody to an existing element of the workbook, you can actually change the workbook, do whatever changes. If I had pivot tables here, for example, I could drill up, drill down, filter, find interesting things, point, by using the selection, point to the interesting location, type out the description, click the button, and have other people benefit from my analysis. And just as a point of interest, you can continue modifying other people's workbooks. So I just did this, but now I realize that the maximum amount of bugs per dev is also interesting. So I'll go here. I'll type equals max of this column. I'll copy the information. And I can type in the title now also with max, and I'll also say that max amount of bugs doesn't make for a good analysis. And again, I found something interesting, which will add the link to the list, which I can then use to see the further modified workbook. So the first step was somebody going and adding an averages line, and then somebody else, or the same somebody, could go and add yet another analysis and find more and more interesting things about the workbook. That is it. So again, this uses Excel Web Services 2000 SharePoint 2010. It uses the EWA JavaScript OM to drive and figure out what's happening in the control that displays the workbook. It uses Excel Web Services to save the workbook back into the SharePoint, and it uses SharePoint REST APIs to add the link into the list of links. And that's it. In the blog, I'm going to go step by step and show exactly how this application is written. And so hopefully you'll join me there and see exactly how it works.